just mess with people. And that's the best thing about I like messing with people. You heard the two phone calls this morning already. You know, that's what I do. I like doing that. Getting people off guard and say, man, why is he calling me this morning? Because I can. Let me make sure this is going live right here. Yes, we're live all over the place. Live, all the way live. Don't even have to walk. Don't even have to drive. Yeah, forget about your problems from 9 to 5 and sail on. That's why I say we need to go on a cruise. We need to go on a cruise. All right, it's 59 minutes after the hour. It is the 23rd day of February. 64 degrees outside under sunny skies. And we got my man standing by. Let me go ahead and make sure we get in here because I want everybody to see what we got going on. All right, we have that. Yeah, I'm gonna get myself together and what you call and get all this lined up what I can do with one click. With one click. But I'm right. I'm chasing things around right now. All right, we're there. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitch. And let me see. We ought to be on. Come on, Ron. Find it. There it is. All right. We are live all over the place. I appreciate everybody tuning in this morning. It's been one of those mornings, been a beautiful morning. And of course, I told y'all I was too lazy to get up and go to the office this morning. So I fired things up in the studio at the house. So I'm sitting here and just waiting, just having fun. That's what we do here. All right, we got my main man on here, Mr. Keith Hamilton, all the way from California. Good morning, sir. I think you're on mute.
You
There
right
you go.
now.
There you
What's going
go.
on with you, big man?
Oh, not a whole lot. I was telling everybody the story on how you called into the radio station, and we've been staying connected and all that.
Yes, sir.
I remember when you asked me, y'all have any T-shirts? I said no. And one of my buddies, he does T-shirts. So he went around did some T-shirts, and he said, "Make sure you give this to your man Keith out there in California. That'd be the first one to go to you."
You know, my wife took it over. She wears it, and everybody asked her, you know, what station is that? I said, that's out of San Antonio. You know, I said they got good barbecue and they got good music.
Oh man, thank you. Well, then I'll send you another shirt since your wife took that over.
Yeah, she took it.
Yeah,
She took it.
okay, I'll make sure I get another one sent out to you. So,
Yes, sir.
all right. So we were talking yesterday. I tell you what, Keith got some stories right here, and I was just floored on the stories he told me. I don't know if you listened to me this morning, but I would not reveal any stories you told me because I want I want them to hear from you personally.
Okay.
Yeah, you know the one story about Mr. Robinson.
Oh,
That right there, I fell out laughing when you told me that. And I said, this man got some stories out there in California, and
yeah.
that's one we gonna hit on. The other is, I remember I called you, or you called me, and said the DJ had to go out on the emergency, and they didn't know what to do, and you turn around and put it on the station on the Friday night.
Yeah. And
Man,
it, it was some years back, but when he did it, um, everybody was like, "What's going on?" You know, with the music on the stage. But it turned out it came out all right.
good. I like hearing that. I like hearing that what you're doing. And like I said, I try to play the music and what you reaching out. The story behind this, Mr. Hamilton was somewhere doing something, and I think you downloaded the app. Was it by mistake, or you just seen it on there?
Uh, you know, it was kind of a mistake and not a mistake. The colors are black and gold, correct?
Yes.
That's my frat colors.
Oh, okay.
And so I hit it because I said, well, I looked at it and said, old school music. And that's primarily what I listened to. And then it had that black and old gold. And so when I hit it and you were doing a funk mix, and I got so excited about it because it reminded me of a station that was here years ago. And as I was going to work, I would listen to it. And when I get to work, I would be late sometimes going to briefing because I didn't want to get out the car.
Ooh.
And then when I heard your station and I heard the music, um, I was upset, kind of like the set was over because it was so funky. I just wanted it to keep going, just to keep going. And then
Yeah.
we had a party one time, and instead of going to, YouTube or anything like that, we went to your station, and it just, without commercial interruption for a minute, and it turned it out. And people were asking me, what station is that? Who is that? Where can I get it? And I told them. And now I've got a few folks in California now that
Yeah.
are hooked up to WSAN. I had people yesterday calling me and saying, "Well, how can I download it? What can I do?" It's bumping out here.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you spread the word out there. That makes me feel good. I talked to some other people around the country, in North Carolina, South Carolina, even Colorado Springs. And when I talked to them, they said, we don't have a black radio station at all in our city. And I said, really? He said, well, we do now because we tune into you. And I told him, don't be afraid to send me some stuff, what you got going on out there in your community, because if they're listening, they need to know anyway. So I said, I'm in San Antonio, but I broadcast anywhere.
Right, right. And that's the good thing about your station is that, like you say, a lot of people don't have the opportunity to hear. Uh, it's not just our music; it's everybody's music. And
Yeah.
when you can't hear what you're missing, you never had it. And and it brings back memories. It brings back good times. It brings back times that you used to, go on your first date and stuff like that, and you start reminiscing.
Yeah.
And my wife told me yesterday, she was listening to the station, and when we parked the car and we came out the garage, she was still dancing from the garage to the house. And she said, sometimes certain music just gives you tingles. It makes you tingle like goosebumps.
Yeah.
And she said, do you feel like that? I said, and I had to be careful what I said. And I said, only when I'm listening to the music with you. But funk music makes me, is a feeling that hits you in the gut.
Yeah.
And this is what I like about the station is that I'm even hearing songs that I've never heard before, and I've heard a lot of music. And I said, well, I'm dug deep down in the creek to for this one, because but that funk mix is off the chart.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Just to let everybody know, we are broadcasting on 4 platforms. If you go to Twitch and look up WSN Radio, make sure you follow us. And on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because all the interviews that I have done is on YouTube. So everybody go back and see 2 years ago of stuff. And so we just want to let everybody know. And also, you're welcome to call in 210-461-8034, or go in the chat section here on all the platforms is there. And so everybody's there. They're all listening. And let me see. I got some people on right now listening. So, but I just enjoy that you're over there. And I have some local artists here, also artists from all over the United States. And this platform I use for their independent artists, because they have no way of getting this out. And so that's where I come to play at. I got this one artist, Mr. Spencer, out there in the Carolinas. Another one in Dallas, I think that's Ace Gardner. They send me their music and I play it, and it sounds good to play it, and so I'm hearing music I never heard before of people sending me music. And that's why sometimes I go to the office, I got like 6 or 7 CDs sitting there that somebody delivered there, and I sit down there and I listen to it. So that's where it comes in. You hear music you never heard before, because locally, people are sending me their music
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and stuff. So I want you to go back. We were talking about yesterday about Smokey Robinson. Because I laughed on that one, and I was gonna spill the guts today, but I said no, I'm gonna let my man Keith tell that story.
What what had happened? Smokey was being interviewed, and he was talking about when he was born as a baby, and back then, it was the segregation, and it wasn't too cool. But um, when he was born, they lost him for 2 days due to the fact that he was so light skinned, and when he was born, he had blue eyes. So they put him in the wrong section. Instead of putting him over there, what he said, in the colored section, they put him in the white section. And his mother asked, he said, "Where's my baby?" And they said, "Well, we're trying to find him."
Ooh.
But he was missing for 2 days, and when they finally found him, it was like, well, is this your baby? Like that. And he said sometimes his eyes are blue, then they turn green, and But he said that's the time that the first time he was missing.
Wow. Isn't that something? And you run around for 2 days, don't know where your baby is.
2 days, and not knowing that your baby was put in another section. But I can't imagine. You don't remember it, but when they told him, it just blew him away.
Wow. And you say he don't stay too far from you, right?
No, he doesn't stay too far from me. He's in the neighborhood, and every now and then, if I'm in the store and stuff like that, I'll bump into him. There's quite a few people in the neighborhood that they live in Ladera, and just see them, and they're just average people.
Yeah.
Just shopping, doing their thing, speak to you, say hello, and just nice people.
Okay, well that's good to hear. You're out there enjoying life. Let's ask about y'all weather out there. What is going on in California with all this rain?
Well, Tony said it never rains in Southern California, but we have to dispute that. Because I almost thought I had to build an ark, because it'll rain for a long period, then it'll stop like today. And yesterday, I mean, we got up into the high 70s. Right now, I'm sitting on the balcony. The sun is shining. It's not cold and stuff like that. But next week, rain coming back.
Oh.
And it affects especially the closer you are to the ocean, and on the hillsides. If you're not getting the mudslides, you're getting the water floods where the drainage is unable to drain.
Yeah.
All the water coming in, and water comes up to your knees as you're walking through. I see people, on what's called surfboards and stuff out there messing around in the street.
Yeah.
And get tugged by little boats and cars and stuff, and just so it's hopefully it won't do it too much longer. But I always say it's rain. Okay, it's better than snow.
Oh yeah. I agree with you on that one because 2 years ago we had that snow here that lasted weeks here, and we had busted pipes, and it was just plain terrible. No electricity, cold outside. It was brutal.
Yeah, we have snow up in certain areas in L.A. County. There is snow, and in San Bernardino County and stuff like that. But I'm just not a cold snow person.
You don't like that cold weather, right?
No, no. I just like things to be cool, weather to be in the middle. I don't really like that Texas heat either.
Yeah, you got that right. We got hot last year.
Yeah, my daughter was living in Fort Worth for a while, for about maybe a year and a half, and she said it got so hot out there. You know, when she was telling me, I felt the weather. I was getting hot in California because I just couldn't do it. You
Yeah,
know,
I hear you. Um, let's get back to the music over there, in California. Um, y'all have local groups there that do Motown and old school R&B and venues out there, because a lot of people are telling me it's awful hard to find groups that do the old school and stuff. And we have some great bands here and singers here, and they do old school. So I'm finding out across the country a lot of people's not getting that flavor.
it. How can I say? They'll have reviews and stuff. You know, where somebody will do old school music, and there's this one particular brother who does Luther Vandross, and there's another group that does uh, R&B and old school at a particular restaurant. But uh, overall, we don't have a lot of black, how do I say, concerts in LA. But it's hard to find.
Yeah.
They're very hard to find, and especially with, unless you drive down the street and you look up on the telephone pole and somebody stamped a card up there saying, hey, the Delphonics Review or something like that. That's the only way. But I know there's one group, and Ron, they're so funky. It's unbelievable. They're called Slapback.
Mm.
It's SLAPBAK, and they're on YouTube. If Parliament, Barcades, Cameo, all of them had a child, it would be Slapback. And
Okay.
they're in Orange County, and and they always play at this particular club slash restaurant. And I mean, that's the best thing. And there are others, but this is the one that if you heard them, you'd have them on all day on Fridays.
Mm, mm, mm. So, Saturdays. That is one of our biggest days here at the radio station because we play blues. Matter of fact, we had a guy called the Blues Man that we playing his music out there because Sharon Bell Moses, who have her own show here, she ran across him out there in L.A., got the CD, and I'm playing 3 or 4 songs off that CD on Blues Saturday. You
Yeah,
know,
it's what station is? It's another station that on Saturdays they play the blues.
yeah,
Um, Primarily all day, and it's good. I mean, it's good, but like I say, we still don't have the information enough to go and see such as individuals on a
yeah,
full time basis. It's like word of mouth.
yeah. And some words don't come out people's mouth. They wait
Yeah,
to.
it sure does. It sure does. I know they say silence is golden, but let's share some of the wealth. I mean,
Thank you.
let-
Let everybody know what's
some.
going on. Yeah, yeah. And then the biggest show we have on Saturday is our Motown. And I was telling when I was interviewed by the television station here, I said that was cleanup music for us. When Dad
Yeah,
put
yeah.
when Dad
On
put on that
Saturday morning.
Motown, he put that on. That means you got your butt up, and
Right.
you started cleaning.
That's yeah. That's the way I really got into. Like you say, Saturday mornings. You get your cornflakes real quick, and cartoons came later because when you heard that music on, you knew it was time to either wash the walls or do something.
Yeah,
And that's how I really got introduced to uh, R&B, soul, funk, uh, and on those Saturday mornings. And as you're cleaning up, you dance.
right.
And God forbid they put on James Brown because cleaning had to stop for a minute because you know you was doing the splits and doing the camel walk and everything else to it. But yeah, that's true.
And you just said the camel walk. That's the same thing as the moonwalk. Cause
Yeah, going back, yeah,
yeah,
going forward is
mm-hmm,
the camel walk,
yeah,
and we were talking about the moonwalk yesterday, and I said a lot of people, they just really saw it when Michael Jackson did it, and then there was another cat, Jeffrey Daniels used to do it.
mm,
He had a locking group back in the day, but I was looking at a documentary from the '40s, and there was a brother. He was a tap dancer,
mm-hmm,
and as he went off the stage, he held his hat up, just like saying bye, and he moonwalked across the stage.
yep. I remember seeing that clip.
Yeah, and this was in the '40s, and this was just. I said, well, it was way back then.
Yep, it sure was. So it was out there. A lot of that good music was out there and the dancing and all that stuff. But it's just amazing how Michael Jackson took it. He didn't have to perfect it. All he did was just do the moonwalk. And that was somebody's first time seeing that when he did that. And they went crazy when they saw him do that.
Yeah, yeah, but it's been around um, a long time.
Yeah.
It was a long time.
Man, it's amazing how we see things from the past, and then the sampling that people do. Uh, that I didn't like that they sample old school music and sit down there because my son was sitting down there. I started singing. What you know about that song? Man, that song came out in 1973. Really?
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. Especially groups such as, like I said, James Brown, uh, Isley Brothers, uh, a lot of rap music samples off of Parliament, Funkadelic,
Yeah.
and they think it's new.
Hmm.
But like you say, we have to introduce them and let them know that no, this came out in '68, or whatever year, and
Yeah.
saying and the pioneers made this music, so they know that maybe they wouldn't be here, but they left it for you to hear with some of your music and put it together. Cake and ice.
Yeah. That one group, the Dales, did that song for the Five Heartbeats.
Yeah,
They did the
yeah,
singing for that.
yeah. And there's been a lot of stuff like that they say, oh well, um, such and such made that. That's we have to say no, no, that's been out, and then when you play it for them, when you find it and play, I know some young people who've never heard the original music, and it
Yeah.
just leaves their mouth open.
Mm-hmm. They don't know what's going on. So, what's the difference between R&B and funk and gospel today compared to yesterday?
I think that there were so many back in the day restrictions on how you could and what could be played on the radio and what could be played. I think gospel music has incorporated certain beats down that um, they could just give a concert with the band.
Yeah.
But when you put that gospel taste in there, it starts to resonate because not only are you hearing the music, and what happens is that it draws the young folks into the church to hear the music, but they
Right.
hear the word. They hear the word. R&B has uh, changed, but it's this neo soul. All that is R&B.
Yeah.
The neo soul, the Maxwells, the Angie Stones, people. They have, um, but again, they sometimes they'll sample, music to bring it in. But I'm glad that they're doing that. What was it? There's been certain groups like Mint Condition.
Yes.
When they would do their songs, I kid one night I was listening to one song, and it's called "Till Last Summer," and I thought I was listening to uh, uh, um, the Delphonics or somebody like that. And then with funk, it's not as funk had disappeared for a minute because when that disco scene came in,
Yes.
uh, funk music was like out the door. Um, and but now, like I said, there's certain groups that just play so good because even Roger and Zapp, his son, is bringing it back,
Mm.
and you can hear his father through him. And like I said, the group Slapback, they do original music and they do the old school music, and it's like it's never missed a beat. It's never missed a beat because the young man, what's his name, Jara Harris, is so how can I say musically genius and so talented when he plays. I thought I was listening to a CD, a record, instead of listening to it on the thumb drive or something like that.
Yeah.
That's how good. And there are some local groups who can get down. There are some local groups, but that's how the music has changed because the industry changed.
Right. It sure has. And now with AI out right now, they get some the old school people sung and record their voice. They can do a whole track with new music using their voice. And that's what they're scared about. AI is going to
It,
take over.
yeah, yeah, and that just like with when auto tune. I don't
Mm.
know who can sing now. It's because and like you say, the AI and stuff, and back when they wrote songs, it came from a general well-being of that person's self.
Yeah.
It didn't come through a machine writing for you or doing something like that or putting the music together. Because when you used to see groups and the words they used to sing, and the person who wrote the lyrics, they were this deep, you know. And it had some meaning to it. Back in the day when we were in school, I remember, we had albums, and
Yeah.
inside the albums they had the sheet, the sleeve, and on the sleeve it had the words to the song.
Yeah.
So if you knew what you were doing, and you like, some young lady or something like that, you would write off the B side songs that maybe she didn't hear, and write that down in a letter and send it to her. And come Monday, she baking cookies and stuff for you. Just off of you just doing things like that. But
Yeah.
the words were so deep back then, which made it. And there's some artists now that uh, um, have writers for them that it has meaning.
Right.
You know, I don't particularly listen to music that doesn't have a meaning or a rhyme.
Right. I feel you on that. So music is a universal language, as they say, and I look at going back to Motown. Everybody and mama heard of Motown. That's a piece of history right there that Barry Gordy put together. That it brings everybody together. Motown will bring
Yeah,
everybody together because when I'm out doing some things, and I go to I play Motown at some live remotes, and people get up, start dancing. It doesn't matter if you're
it
black,
is.
white. It doesn't matter because people understands that music back then.
Yeah, and it goes along, like you say, with some culture, especially in the Hispanic Latino community. You put on some old school, and you put some Motown on, and they right with it. I mean,
Yep.
from you can see the lowriders, pumping it out their car and stuff. They're right with it. And
Hmm.
like you say, music, how people say, um, well, that they sound black. Oh, well, a sound doesn't have a color. Because when AWB, Average White Band, came out,
Yeah.
a lot of people thought they were a black band.
Mm-hmm.
They're from Scotland.
And
The whole,
yeah,
yeah,
and laid back who did on the White Horse.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Everybody thought it was a black band, but it was a white band.
It was a white band,
Yeah.
and like I say, as long as the music is good and can make you feel good, I don't care where they come from. You
Yep.
know, just make it, make it good.
Yep. Okay. I want to touch base on something before we get out of here. So you're a retired policeman.
Yes, sir.
And where were you at when you were a policeman?
I was in this actually two cities. I was in one. I started off in Orange County in a city called Stanton, and I stayed there for about a year. And when I passed probation, I went over to the city of Compton, and that's when I really, really learned how to work in law enforcement, because it wasn't that, so many people, when they hear the name Compton, they say, "Oh my God, it's something." No, it's a beautiful city,
Yeah.
but it attracts, at that time and still a little bit today, certain individuals that come in to do what they want to do. Especially when I worked the second uprising, the second rise. Well, I was a little boy, but the first one, but the second one, I actually worked, and
Yeah.
Watching the city be burned down and everything that was
Yeah.
going on brought me into a whole new light um, of about what is really happening in America. And it just didn't go with just, being a police officer. It was going, I had to look outside the box. And I saw the anger, I saw the frustration. Finally, I actually saw it. You could smell it from things were burning. You could see how the action and reactions were to what happened on that particular time. And that's when I awakened as a police officer, finally seeing what it really is, and you take it all in and turn it around to make it where hopefully this doesn't happen again.
Yeah. Boy, I remember those days. Man, it was, and I think that the deal going on right now is a lot of people don't understand the black culture.
No, they don't.
They don't understand. They want us to live their culture, take
Right,
ours away, but they got to understand where we're coming from. We
right.
all want the same thing. We all want to have a job, buy a house, have a family, and just live. We want the same thing, but
Same thing.
they don't seem to understand that.
Well, in every, particularly here in the United States, every group has their culture where they brought it with them. Their
Yeah.
mothers and fathers, their mothers, fathers, that. We lost our culture because we had to adapt to somebody else's culture. And then when we tried to bring our culture out, it was, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And when they say, well, I remember one time somebody asked me, well, what do you guys do for holidays? And I said, well, we do primarily the same thing you do. I said, now our food might be different because that's what we generally, our tastes of what you like to eat. But I said, our culture comes from a place where there's many cultures within the culture.
Yes.
In Africa, there's a lot of different cultures in Africa, but it's one big mass. And I told this person, I said, well, we have to understand that it was taken away from us. And again, we adapted to somebody else's culture. But I think the Black experience now is something um, of awareness. Where can we go from here? What can we do with this? How can we be with what we have? And I take it real serious because um, I don't think there's a day that I'm not Black. And we didn't ask to come here being Black. It is by God's will. That's why we are who we are. But then it makes me smile when they say, well, all originated from Africa. So you might want to take a look at our culture because that might be your culture too.
Yeah.
If we all come from Africa, adaptation, it doesn't hurt. And so that makes it better for you to learn about our culture and stop trying to reject it and say, well, no, we can't have this in the school, certain
Yeah.
books that talk about this and things like that. And so I'm just happy to, I love my culture. I love it to death. I love being Black. I love everything about it, be it the good times and the bad times. I love our music, my
Yeah.
music, which is everybody's music. But because I think our music tells a story,
Yeah.
and every kind of, even with rapping, it tells a story, and that's what I like about how we create music, and that's what I like about WSAN Radio is that you can experience that creation.
Thank you. Yeah, well, that's what we're here for. To, like you said, play that music. And sometimes I get so wired up in here that I have music that's programmed. The station is programmed, plays certain music. I program all that. Sometimes I throw that to the side and I get on my controller and be playing music live and mixing live. I do that
Okay,
sometimes, you know.
because I was going to ask you, do you do that? In mix.
Yep.
You know, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Because I could tell. Because sometimes when the music just like yesterday, it just formulates into it. It's like um, what we say, a river flowing into another branch of a river.
Mm.
And and it's just right there, because right there when I said it, I was doing like this, because it just makes you it's no break.
Yeah. We go
It's
straight
no
to it.
break.
Yeah. And
and
that,
and the mixes are well put together. uh, uh they all blend in together, you know uh and that's what, you know I, like I say, people here really enjoy that because um remember back in the day, you'd have to pick the needle off the record
right.
and then try to find something else to go with it, maybe. But this is just it's outstanding. And then the other thing I like people who are listening is to go on the website where you were interviewed uh, by the local TV station.
Yes.
And when I saw it last night, and then when it came to the part where your new station is inside actually a Black church with a Black museum, I said, that's a thing that I don't know. I know that I've never heard of it before.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it before, and it's like a 2 for 1. You can see Black history, and you can hear Black music. I'm sorry, and at this time I have to call it Black music because it is. It is Black music because it was written for everyone, but yet still it was designed and written by someone who knows the experience to write it. And,
Right.
that just blew me away, when I saw that. And that you're doing a good thing by being where you are. You didn't have to be there, but you're doing a great thing by being where you are. Because someone asked me about, well, what does Black History Month mean to you? And I said, awareness.
Mm. Yeah.
It's not dressing up in African clothing and just because that's history, but it's not our history in these United States. It's awareness. Where can we go from the next step? You didn't know we designed this. Oh, you didn't know we made this. Oh, you didn't know who was the first black hockey player. Yeah, we play hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do a lot of things. Oh yeah, the elevator. Yeah, we it was a man who made that. And these things like that. Yeah, it was some sisters working for NASA to design it so the ship could get back. And these are the type of things that people need to know about us, is that we're here and we're gonna be here. But while we're here, everybody, it's like the Academy Awards or any award show, you give people props. Well, don't give people props, us in particular, because you have to.
Yeah.
Give us our props because we did.
Yep. That is so true. When you said that, I thought about the guy who invented the AC, air conditioning. And
Yeah,
if it wasn't for him, we'd be sitting and what George Washington Carver, the peanut.
yeah,
He did so much with the peanut. They didn't think you do that much with a peanut.
yeah. With a peanut, all I do is put it on bread, a little jelly or whatever, some honey and something like that. I
Yeah.
didn't know that you could do all this from a peanut.
Mm-hmm.
Even the what do you call the super soaker,
Mm-hmm.
that water gun.
Yeah.
Black man designed that. He worked for either JPL and NASA and stuff. He designed that. And there's a whole story on how he did that and
Wow.
sold it to Hasbro or whoever, whatever, the toy company that he introduced it to.
Mm-hmm.
But people just take us for, I think, a lot of in society just think that all we can do is sports, sing, and dance. And we're more than just entertainment.
Right.
We're way more than that. We are highly individuals with intelligence. But if you don't know that we can, because they only go by the few that they see on mainstream, and that's what they think. No, everybody's like that.
Right. Yes.
Every group has this group within this group that's like that.
Yeah.
But they just have a tendency to sway from us because they've been taught that. And we need to make it more introduction of what we can do and what we've done and how we can do things. And so that's why I think, but then when you think about all of that going on in the world, and then when you just kick back and put on some old school music, it seems to go away.
Yeah. Because you often
It seems to just go away, and it takes your mind off of things that you generally don't like to think about or don't want to think about.
Mm.
And I'm so thankful that we have music such as, and that we have a station such as yours where you can just let all your troubles, go away. And reminisce on back how it used to be. There's a lot of days I say, oh, if I could go back to 1970, this, that, and another. But we had problems then. But it doesn't seem like, but we had that music too.
Yeah, sure did.
And you get on the porch with your friends and stuff, and everybody pretend they was in the Jackson 5 or and singing and dancing and stuff like that. And that's within our nature. That's what we do. That's within our nature. And so I'm just grateful that that day I was looking for the station, an old school station. I hit your station, and I've not went to another one after. I'm stuck on it.
Oh, appreciate that. Thank you for that. So, okay, man, little history down the road, a little bit of everything down the road. Mr. Hamilton, I'm gonna say thank you, appreciate you for chiming in, taking your time. Are you retired?
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Well, semi. I am a proctor at a law school.
okay,
Yeah,
all
and
right.
I do that um, just to stay busy.
I hear you on that, and we all need to, because I always brag about um, our um, our age, the baby boomers. I said, don't get up anymore and just lay in bed, do nothing. Get up and do something. Walk around the
Yeah.
house, go outside. There's so many things out there that's offered that you could do that's free for us. And,
Yes.
and I
Yes.
said, you need to do something instead of sitting around saying, woe is me. Because I tell people, when you retire, don't be retired because you're going to be dead in 2 years. If
D-
you
d-
retire,
Yeah.
if you retire,
Keep
go out and
moving.
enjoy life.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the big word you say. When you retire, you get tired,
Yep.
and if you keep moving, well, what the old folks used to say, uh, don't let the grass grow
Your
underneath your feet,
feet. Exactly.
and just keep moving and go out there and help and be around and spread your culture and spread your knowledge and talk to, instead of running from younger people now, talk to them.
Amen. Yep.
Talk to them. You'd be surprised, sometimes the response, because the history book talks about his story, but it's spelled the same way, history. Just break it down and let them know the history of things that we've gone through. I didn't even realize that the year segregation was stopped. 4 years later, I was born,
Mm.
and it's not been that long. Like I said, 65. It it hasn't been that long ago,
Yeah.
and so I spread that with my kids, with my grandchildren, you know, and how we say, pass it along,
Yep.
pass the
Exactly.
torch.
That's what you need to do. Pass the torch and let them see. Because we can only plant that seed in our kids' hair, in our kids'
Yeah,
mind, in their head,
yeah,
and watch it grow. Because my grandson said something, and I said something back to him. He said, "That's what my dad said." I said, "Where do you think he got it from?"
there you go, there
Where
you
you?
go.
So
Yeah,
you don't know it's being passed on, and your kids be talking, and they watch you, and they see what you're doing, and
right.
they mimic the way that you do things because you didn't get in the fight, you didn't get shot at, you didn't do any of that stuff.
Mm-mm.
You
No,
lived your life to the fullest, and they see that, and that's why we could be a proud parent, proud
yeah,
grandparent. The way our kids
right.
are brought up, hey, nothing said.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I know my daughter, one of my daughters, she listens to the Isley Brothers a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And she's in her 30s. And they said, well, why did she said, well, that's what my dad, that's what my daddy used to play in the car all the time. Is the Isley Brothers and Cool in the Gang and people like that,
Yeah.
Parliament. And that's what they still hold on to.
Right.
They still hold on to it. And I know that um, like you say, the grandson, he's 20, he hears that music too.
Mm-hmm.
He hears that because she plays it.
Right.
So we're not gonna let it die, Ron.
No, we're
We're
not.
not
We're
gonna
not.
let it die.
We're not. Okay, on that note right there, Mr. Hamilton, I appreciate you coming on board and on the show and
Appreciate you,
everything.
brother.
You just don't know. You made my day.
Well, thank you, brother, as well as you, and thank you for having me. And I got to get ready for Funky Friday right now.
All right, but we got it coming up. Everything's coming up. So, all right, man. You take care.
You too, big man.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right, Ron.
Okay.
Take care.
All right, bye.
Peace.
All right, that was Mr. Hamilton, Keith Hamilton, out there in California. He was out there. Now, I just had to bring him on because he had some things